Welcome to The Human Thread, a space for those seeking something real in a world dominated by noise and algorithms. I'm Greg, and here we unravel the fabric of authentic connection through creativity, meaningful conversations, and reflections on the messy, beautiful human experience. Let's dive into the threads that bind us beyond likes and follows to meaning, art, and genuine dialogue. As close to 0% as possible. Small tweaks to be less distracted and more present with others. Today, I listened to the latest episode of the Hidden Brain podcast, hosted by Shankar Vedantam. In that podcast, they discussed a study revealing that during conversations, people admit their minds wander about 24% of the time. Now, I've definitely felt this when I'm talking, but also when I'm listening. That 24% figure doesn't surprise me at all. Often, during chats, my mind drifts elsewhere, and in many conversations, I feel the distraction of others. I see the glances at phones after the undeniable vibration sound, you know the one, of a notification coming into their device. So take Zoom meetings, for example. I'll be mid-discussion and suddenly a notification pops up or a text buzzes on my phone. And you know what? My focus shifts instantly. We all know it's crucial to avoid distractions while driving, and many states have laws against texting behind the wheel, but cars and phones now have features to block notifications when we're driving. And yet, if you're like me, like I still see drivers just distracted by their phones while I'm driving them at 70 miles an hour on the highway. And I think we can all universally agree that even by those drivers who are texting while they're driving, that this is like super dangerous. People can get killed. But while zoning out during a Zoom call or dinner with family, it's not as lethal as distracted driving. It sends a damaging message to those that we're with. When we're not fully present, it undermines trust. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and being attentive shows we value and respect the other person. When we're distracted, it signals disinterest, making others feel unimportant. And over time, this erodes trust and weakens bonds. Now, I've caught myself drifting off in meetings and conversations, and even at the dinner table. And these are with people that I actually care about, the ones who bring me joy from their friendship, the ones I work with every day, my wife, my kids. So let's explain. There are forces at work here. Social media platforms, media organizations, and other apps have built their business plan economics around engagement. The point is to get your eyeballs and your attention back to their site. These days, everything is now breaking news. Last month, I was in the middle of an important one-on-one meeting with a colleague, and the New York Times breaking news alert popped up on my phone telling me, guess what? That the Oscar nominations were announced. Now, this is pure insanity. I'm a bigger film buff than most, but this alert caused me to not only turn off notifications, but also to delete the New York Times app and my subscription. I was so mad about that. Now, these are the forces at work against us. In today's world landscape, especially the shit show here in this country where I am torn between outrage and the desire to tell the ones who voted for this that, I told you so, everything seems breaking and everything seems news. Yet almost all of these changes, will directly affect the people I care about, but I feel knowing about it that night or even later in the week versus immediately after it happens does not make me any less outraged or any less of an ally for those that need one. There's mental health benefits for not being always on all the time, but there are also benefits to the things that we definitely can control. And those things are the relationships we have with our loved ones. Now, we've all been conditioned to equate busyness with importance, and saying I'm busy often implies we're successful and in demand. But this mindset is misleading and harmful. Constant busyness can lead to stress, burnout, and strained relationships. It's a path that pulls us away from meaningful connections and self-care. Now, I want to challenge this notion by leading through example. Prioritizing quality over quantity, setting boundaries, and making time for rest and relationships are crucial. And by doing so, we can foster a healthier, more balanced life that's both productive and fulfilling. So, embracing that culture that values meaningful engagement over mere activity can enhance our well-being and strengthen our connections with others. Realizing that distractions hurt my relationships and focus has pushed me to make some changes. And so this is what I'm doing to fight against this. I might not eliminate that 24% mind wandering entirely, but I can also aim to get as close to zero as possible. So here's an example of what I'm doing. So the first thing is, in my in-office meetings, instead of taking the meeting from behind my desk, I step away from my desk. I sit on a side chair, leaving my computer and phone behind. This allows me to give full attention to the person I'm with and the conversation we're having. In other meetings in my office, I leave my devices in my actual office and bring only a notebook. It not only affects the way I listen because I'm free from distraction, but forcing me to handwrite notes imprints the comprehension of what I'm hearing. I find that I'm way more focused. Now, let's say I'm in a meeting at a coffee shop or a restaurant. If my car is parked nearby, I leave my phone in the car. My watch is set to notify me only if my wife, my kids, or my parents call me on the phone. And if I have a hard stop, I also set that alarm on my watch. So I don't really need my phone to check the time or use it as a clock. The final thing is managing notifications. I've turned off all my notifications except for calls from my immediate family. I've also changed my email from pull to push. And so I have to be very intentional when I'm looking for my emails. These tweaks help me stay present and focused and showing respect to those I'm with and improving my own attention span. It's really made a huge difference. And so, I'm going to just close with, let's keep this conversation going. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed distractions affecting your relationships or work? What steps have you taken to be more present? Drop a comment in this article and share your experience. And if this resonated with you, consider restacking it so we can inspire more people to strive for presence, connection, and balance in a world that's, it's constantly pulling us in every direction. I really appreciate you listening, and thanks for reading, and hopefully you will consider subscribing. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If today's episode sparked curiosity or resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay connected, stay curious, and keep exploring the human threads that connect us.